Welcome back to the House with No Name. This week we're going to be doing a lot of outdoor work, but before that, our home is a traditional Portuguese countryside house. No insulation, single glazing windows and tiled floors, which means it gets very cold. So in the interest of keeping things traditional, not just buying new and instead reusing something old, we got a log burner from Facebook Marketplace, and somehow we managed to fit it in the hire car.
From the carpet. Okay, down.
Ready? Okay, I just need to see what I felt like.
Oh, fuck hell. You moved away from me.
Oh, sorry. Got up.
Oh, yeah, we can lift it.
Do you want a weightlifting belt?
It might need it.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
So the plan for the outdoor work is to try and save this tree from being strangled by ivy, then start clearing the hedge and finish with clearing as much of the rest of the hill as we can. Although this technically isn't our land, we got the okay from the neighbours to do the work as they agreed it would be a fire risk in the summer.
Plan is to start at the bottom and get rid of as much of the ivy as possible and the random bits that are growing out of it that don't resemble olive tree.
Up to at least like here, everything within reach, just clear it all back, and then there's probably bound to be some thicker branches underneath all of this.
Yeah.
So
But currently it's just ivy, so it's difficult
Yeah.
to work out what's even going on.
like this hasn't been touched for years. Like it's an olive tree, and like
We can tell this from
look how
the
tall
top
it is.
having olive branches.
How tall this is. So it hasn't been touched for a very long time. It doesn't need to be that tall. It's also pretty much blocking all of the light from our trees down this way, so we can prune it back to a reasonable height so it doesn't block as much light, and just then it also doesn't get strangled to death by ivy.
Yeah. I've got my new Christmas gardening gloves, which are amazing. They're like full leather and you can't feel a thing. So I'm going to alternate between my two sets of gardening gloves for different jobs. I'm a gardener now.
2 sets of gardening gloves.
Basically just cut down a whole tree.
Wow, look at that. We've just cut through the first bit of ivy. Amy's just cut through it.
There
And
must be like it going round about 12 times. It's so thick.
like the tree isn't just below this first layer of leaves. It's properly wrapped
This
around.
is the tree here.
Yeah.
And the ivy comes out to here.
Jesus.
It's
There's
like
about 3 or
a
4.
literal hand's length.
There's about 5 or 6 inches of ivy.
It's gonna feel so free.
Just snip away at him on the way around, and then take off as much as you can.
Yeah.
Start at the bottom and then work your way upwards. I could probably get a strimmer in for a trip around the tree if you want.
It might be worth it.
Just around the base
Yeah,
here.
'cause I just can't really work out.
What's what?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alright, give me a second.
So plan with the hedge is to start at the top here and just kind of work the whole way down. I've got a fresh new blade on the strimmer, like kind of more teeth rather than the 3-pronged one which we were using for a lot of the grass previously. This one should be able to chop through this kind of heavy brush stuff a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. Some almost works like a mitre saw blade or a circular saw blade. Fresh fuel in, ready to go.
So all of this, these roots here are all just ivy. This ivy is really thick and very well developed and very aggressive. So all of these roots around here are all from that. So the boss has been digging it all out. This is the pile of roots that's come out so far. Made a bit of a start on the hedge. Kind of doesn't really look like I've done anything, but it was kind of like at least half a metre out than where it was. So we can try and get through and thin out some of it so we can kind of get back to some of these trees, because there are actual trees here. There's an actual tree there, but it's just been taken over by brambles. There's another actual tree here which has kind of like grown a shoot directly out the side. It's all kind of all over the place, so I'm going to try and thin it out and at least get to some of the trees rather than this kind of thick stemmed thorns. Tudo bem? Muito bem. Oh. Now the boss can have a dabble on the strimmer.
I need a little break from attacking ivy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to attack grass and brambles instead for a bit.
Take on the hill.
Be brave and use the strimmer.
It's your first time, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Nah, that's fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we just stopped for a bit of lunch. This is where we've got to so far.
This tree is now pretty well trimmed. The boss doing a good job on that one.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ivy, and there's still like a lot wrapped around it, but we really cut it from the bottom, so none of it's still connected. So hopefully it will start to die off, and it'll make it easier.
There's like 12 layers wrapped around the tree.
And on the hedge here, we've kind of taken it back from about here, but there's a tree, there's an olive tree growing here, and then another one behind it. So we're going to try and clear the hedge to behind those trees, because the other side of this is literally this for 20 meters.
Yeah.
It's just all brambles, hedge, just nothing been taken care of. So we're going to clear a path down here. So for it, basically from here now, we're going to cut directly down so it goes behind that tree. So it opens up that, getting behind that tree, and it's not getting strangled by the hedge anymore.
Yeah.
So we've got basically back from about here now to there. The strimmer did a pretty good job of taking out the first row, but then I couldn't get close enough because of all these brambles just hanging over. Managed to dig out one of my old tools that I bought a long time ago, sharpened it up. I've kind of been swinging at it to kind of hack away at the top, and then being able to get in a bit closer at the bottom.
Seems to be working pretty well, and I've got through a good chunk of it. Still trying to go down past this tree here and make the path, make this, open up this hedge. We also, once we've got in enough, we then need to kind of chop the top to bring the height of the hedge down, because especially now you can see how much shade it pushes over these trees at the bottom. So we want to try and make sure that maybe this part of the day at least it doesn't get as much shade.
So it's been a big day on the tools in the garden.
Got rid of the ivy that came up to beyond here.
Yeah, it was growing out really far.
Thickest ivy roots ever. Like,
Trying to save the tree.
yeah. This is ivy.
Yeah.
This is ivy. This is ivy. It's meant, so it's just like wrapped like a corkscrew
All the way around.
all the way around the tree.
It's so thick.
So I've tried to like detach bits of it so it can live. And then I didn't want to chop off the suckers that had basically grown into trees off the side, but to help the actual tree to live, it kind of seemed like the better choice. So we are going to have to cut some of it down.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut some of it down.
Like,
yeah.
it's just too tall. So not only that the health of the tree, obviously having been strangled for,
However
I
long.
would say, over 5 years.
So it will be a chainsaw job.
Yeah. So I'll see if we can get any higher with trying to get the ivy off of it, and like we can see now that there are some branches and things that if we cut kind of through the middle, then there are some bits coming off of it. But yeah, still need to try and see a bit more of it to work out what to do. So a ladder will be the next step.
We've also got through a significant portion of this hedge, so we've kind of cut it as much in a line down there as we can, and we've now kind of cleared the gap to that tree. So that olive tree, which...
I'm going to give a reference. The hedge started here.
Yeah.
At 8 a.m, there was a hedge here.
Yeah, the whole way down.
All the way.
So yeah, there's now a lot of... all of that is basically here and across here. So the idea with this is we want to take it down a little bit as well to open up some light onto the olive trees, and especially onto the one that's lower down at the bottom, is going to be very helpful. So we're going to take this straight the way down there, all the way down to the corner of the forest eventually.
So we sorted the waste pipe that had a big hole in it. So now we need to put stones in to help with drainage.
Because it's going to start raining tomorrow lunchtime, so we've got a bit of a timeline to get some of the outdoor stuff done.
Yeah.
Cheers, big ears.
Cheers. Mess.
Gone through numerous different ones.
Yeah, we had a really successful day yesterday, and we've woken up today and everything we've kind of gone to start hasn't quite gone as we planned. So we planned on going up to the top of the chimney, drilling a hole and being able to install the fire. But then we realised that actually that's significantly higher than we thought it was. And
I don't think we can get up. I can't get up
for
there.
as low as our safety requirements generally are, that was a little bit too far on the old unsafe spectrum. Even with a bigger ladder, and like the only way we can get up there and do it is if we have full scaffolding to make sure that there's enough space to safely be up there, which we don't have. And then we realised around the back we still have a pipe that isn't attached to anything, so from the sink water's just pissing out everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's always just a couple more bits to the process before the bit we thought we started at. So Kieran's going to start on angle grinding a chunk of the wall out so we can
Repair the pipe.
repair the water pipe. Whilst I'm going to clear a lot of the earth and try and make a hill that's not like this to get down into the forest before the rain starts in 2 hours.
Yeah. So probably, yeah, bear in mind we're trying to do all this. We wanted to get stuff done fairly quickly this morning because it's due to rain.
This is probably the first time you lovely folks have been to the forest, so welcome. Forest. I'm going to try and kind of make a slightly easier pathway. I'm going to go and grab the fork and just start moving some of the earth that's up at the top down, just to try and, rather than have a sheer drop to get down and potentially lose the wheelbarrow, see what we can do. Get rid of that. Bugger!
Looks pretty good. Perfect for filling with the stones. Do you feel the rain?
I think so.
Yeah, it's an hour earlier than we expected. So our new kind of drainage stone section around the base of the bathroom is kind of finished, half done. We need to get some slightly bigger stones that'll sit on top of these to bring the level up, and we also need to get more of these small size to go into the corner once we've done the plumbing in there. Be able to infill that whole section. So the idea with this is basically that so there's not earth sitting right up against the concrete and sitting right up against the walls, which just gets damp and holds all the water. Hopefully this stone will allow it to kind of run away a bit better, or at least away from being sat against the concrete. Ideally we would have put like a French drain in that runs maybe alongside the actual toilet waste pipe, but we didn't manage to get one, and we need this done for now. So hopefully this works. We'll see. We do rain today. It's kind of starting to pick, but before it gets heavier, we're going to add another job to the list.
So I'd started this morning trying to make like a bit of a path
Into the
forest, so that we could, like, the ivy and stuff, from what I can see and kind of expected, isn't great to put into compost, partly because of the waxy texture, so you have to like cut it up so that it will decompose better, but also like it is technically a weed, especially the way that it's grown around here, and I don't really want compost to then encourage, I don't know if that's a thing, but
I would presume that
but I don't want it to happen, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to eliminate the possibility, because we need to clear down in the forest anyway. We'll just put all the stuff down there, it'll kind of mulch down a little bit and then make it a bit easier to deal with. So leveling out a little bit more with the earth that's left for the path bit, and then when it comes into that drop, we're going to clear all of the brick from the fire so that that can give kind of a base.
The stone we're going to take out, and that's what we've just used on this kind of edging we've put on, and we're going to use that stone that's in
like
there.
we want to build like the concrete bench and stuff with it in the garden kitchen, or where we've got nice stuff we'll keep it, but where it's like bits of broken tile and bits of breeze block and stuff that just, it's not really necessary, and we've got even more around the other side, so just trying to actually kind of get some function out of them and just make it more accessible to get in, because that'll just make it easier when we come to do the forest, if we're not thinking about, okay, I've got to lug all this stuff down and it's difficult to get in there. So yeah, very practical job to do. And then we'll fill this section with the rubble from the oven.
It's a bit more of a gradual slope then.
So it's got like a gradual flat, rather than down, up, down, down, drop off cliff.
We've not actually even said, so basically everything to the right here is ours. So the tiny yellow bottle on top of a stick there, that's the back of our boundary. There's a massive drop down there. So everything to the right here is then our forest. So we're trying to make a bit of a better entrance so we can actually get down here, because at some point we are going to need to
We've got our work cut out for us down here.
You can see the thickness of this. This is pretty much like the hedge, but the entire way through a 2-acre forest.
So having a better path to get in it at least makes one bit of it slightly less daunting and a bit more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just live down here for
Probably
a while till it's clear.
Yeah.
And then just imagine, we'll be able to just walk through our forest.
Yeah.
That's some time away though.
Loads better. On your right. So all the stuff we've just picked up from the hill, we kind of, not all of it, this is like 2 wheelbarrows worth, so hopefully trying to slope this off so we've got a more gradual entrance into the forest. So we've got a kind of area that we can work in that's kind of clear here, and we can start from there and go right, but we just need to be able to get in here because this is mad steep and just not very easily accessible with a wheelbarrow and
Don't want to break an ankle.
Yeah, so this is just a start. We're going to try and put as much rubble in first and then come over the top with a lot of the soil we've got, so it'll hopefully make like kind of nice gradual ramp in.
Yeah.
I think that's us done for today. You can feel the rain starting to come in. We got an extra hour out of it before it was due, so
Yeah. Time to go be dry inside.
yeah.
Thanks so much for watching The House with No Name. Next time, we hand saw some timber, get a lot of heavy rain, and paint a very bright colour in our pantry. See you then.